Hello everybody and welcome to the most important Dwarf Fortress update of the last several years as far as I'm concerned. Diplomacy, meaning in Dwarf Fortress you can now end wars that you've started, making Dwarf Fortress no longer accurately represent reality. But it is a more interesting simulation because of it. Imagine ending wars. Ha! Let's dive in. This update largely sits in two parts, diplomacy and general. The diplomacy updates are the meat of the update, so that's what I'll focus on initially, and we'll read the general updates at the end. Under diplomacy, your appointed messengers can now do a variety of diplomatic missions from the world screen, such as make peace, declare war, make contact, improve trade, and lastly, you can request alliances if you have the king or queen in your fort. For those of you who've never used messengers before, they can be assigned at the bottom of the nobles screen. And because of their increased importance, they are now a high priority action, meaning they'll drop everything to run off to go take part in your missions. Additionally, it's now possible to open trade with the humans and elves before the usual time, using your messenger. If you send a messenger, you can also open trade with multiple civilizations of the same type. You could do this before, but you had to do it kind of violently, so it's nice that there's now a peaceful option. If traders don't make a decent profit, and you do not engage in negotiations, trade will taper off, which is now a major change for trading, meaning you'll have to upkeep to keep everybody happy. Next, they added a confirmation button in the mission interface. This one is huge because it just makes the whole interface a lot more responsive. There's new dialogue options when traders arrive, which I think is quite delightful. And they fixed an issue where turning enemies off lead to early caravans, which requires resetting the difficulty to apply. I have no idea what that is. I've never encountered it before. But let's actually tour through these new features properly. If you have at least one messenger assigned, you now have access to more tools on the overworld. And these additional tools are pretty powerful. If you click on a faction that you are aware of, such as someone like these humans who we are at peace with, and you select them, you now have two main options. If you click attack, you'll see the old diplomacy screen, which gives you various options of how to attack the enemy. The UI has been refined and is more responsive than it was previously. But you also have this diplomacy option. And when selected, it shows three new additional options: declare war, seek alliance, and improve trade. You can even assign multiple attempted tasks at once, although it would be awkward if you became allied and declared war at the same time, so maybe don't select those two. Once you've decided what you would like to complete, simply select your negotiator of choice, and then click Done Assigning. This will activate the mission and send them to your location. Additionally, if there is a faction that you have no contact with and you click on them, such as this Dwarven Hillocks of Defense, we have some similar options. Of course, I can attack them, or I can make contact with them peacefully. Or alternatively, I can declare war by once again sending my messenger of choice. These are some really powerful tools that pretty fundamentally change how you can interact with other factions. In my first few hours of play, I formed an alliance with an elven faction that I've been trading with, demanded the goblins surrender, they accepted, then later I attacked the goblins again, and then demanded they surrender again shortly after. And instead of surrendering, they said no. So I attacked them, killed the leader who said no, and then they surrendered again. It's been quite amusing, to say the least. The system right now feels kind of gamey, but I do think that there is a lot of really powerful possibilities in the near future as these systems get expanded upon. So without further ado, let's dive into the other updates that came along with this patch. There's two optimizations that have come in, one regarding zombies considering their surroundings until disturbed, and then the second one is related to creatures throttling your pathing by repeatedly trying to find the same path. Now instead of, jobs just canceling repeatedly, you get a little notification saying that something is trying to repeatedly path, and then it jumps you to where that creature is. Probably pretty useful to a lot of you out there. Additionally, you can now view activity details again from the residence list, which is something that I sorely missed. I can now see the details of every different type of dance the dwarves are doing. They stopped the scroll bar from disappearing when closing bins near the bottom of the trade list. They increased the maximum number of announcements that can be saved, which is huge. They prioritized the removal of sparring announcements from the announcements list, and they tried to repair corrupted musical instruments upon load, and they did some exception handling for the map saving and loading. And they also added the ability to display all logged errors on screen, mostly for debugging mods. Before I kind of give my final thoughts on this patch, I want to read the note at the top, which I think is quite important. This is a note from KitFox. Hey Jurists, we've got another patch and community news hybrid post today. There's lots on the go right now as we prepare for a packed summer of news and updates. The artists are finishing up dinos and continuing with the art for myth and magic updates. You can expect to see the dinosaur update next, and we'll be sharing a release date very soon. Tarn is also in full-on wizard mode. But in the meantime, he has a new patch with a focus on diplomacy and bugs, meaning the next update that we'll be getting is going to be relating to dinosaurs and some sort of large creature-focused update, adding a lot of new animals to the game. For this particular patch, you do not need to generate a new world to get any of these features. They're all just automatically ready to go. But for the dinosaurs, it is likely if you want to see them, you'll need to generate a new world. All in all, this has been one of my most seriously requested and demanded features over the last few years. The ability to stop wars is huge, and the ability to mess around with trade the way you're now able to is really exciting going forward. Of course, I'm sure there will be issues that we'll encounter as time goes on, as is the way of things, but I expect the next few months to be very interesting for Dwarf Fortress. And now I'm real curious. Are you as excited as I am about diplomacy in Dwarf Fortress? I am absolutely ecstatic about this. I'd love to know down in the comments. Thank you very much for watching this video. If you'd like to see more videos like this, I do recommend you check out this YouTube channel. Of course, we have other Dwarf Fortress related things as well, and you can check out the streams at twitch.tv/BLINDIRL. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you soon, probably.